You're not decorating with orange pumpkins this year, are you? I'm on a one-woman mission to eradicate the colour orange from my autumn decor this year. I say orange pumpkin and immediately you think Halloween. For that reason, I'm using lots of white pumpkins in my decor this year. Even though they're white, they're not boring. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Julie from Julie Davis Flower Workshops and Flower Start, the online flower classes. I do a range of videos here on my channel, mainly flower arranging themed. As we've all been spending lots of time at home this year, I've been getting more creative and doing lots of craft related activities for those occasions when I can't get out to buy fresh flowers. I've grouped my white pumpkins together. They make a great contrast to the greyish green of my fresh pumpkin, which I've filled with flowers. I keep calling these pumpkins, but actually they're edible squashes. What about this aged pumpkin? I bought it as a munchkin pumpkin from the supermarket. It's about 3 years old and it's just dried naturally over time. The second year the vibrant orange had faded to a rather dull colour, so I spray painted it white. And now the spray paint has started to chip away, but I think it looks really great like this. So I'm going to embrace that aged, old-fashioned vintage feel and incorporate it into my autumn decor as an eye-catching piece. I love the shape of the white pumpkin with its round, deep grooves, and I think it's a great contrast to the dried pumpkin and the decorative detail that I'm going to add to the flatter of the three. I'm going to enhance the textural feel, the tactile qualities of my pumpkin by painting it using dimensional fabric paint. The technique is very similar to when you ice a cake. So if you're used to using a piping bag to pipe out butter icing or royal icing, this will be right up your street. And if this is a new technique for you, well, it's really easy to do. Shake the paint pot up, hold it upside down and squeeze gently. I'm doing a little dot in the same place and swirling it around and sharply pulling away, and that's what creates the little peak on top of the dot. Now, a word of warning, it does take 4 hours for this paint to dry, but that can work to your advantage. If you're not quite sure what you're doing and you feel you've made a mistake, you can always wipe away your first dots and start again. I'm placing my dots randomly across my pumpkin. I haven't got a prefixed pattern in mind. You could create an accent area, perhaps just decorate one segment of the pumpkin, but if you do want to paint the whole of the pumpkin, you will need to let the top side dry in order that when you turn it over to do the bottom side, you're not crushing all those lovely dots you've already made. I'm only going to paint the top section of my pumpkin. I want the contrast between that lovely textural, tactile detail at the top and then the smooth, leathery base at the bottom. As with all crafting projects, there's no need to rush. Just do little and often as you've got the time. You might even do this little painting detail when you've got something else on the go. Perhaps if you're making a cup of tea, you could be doing the dots where you want the kettle to boil, then go away, have your cup of tea and come back again. As you can see here, I'm using white paint on a white pumpkin, so it works really well together. But you could use the same technique on a coloured pumpkin, but if you don't want white dots on a coloured pumpkin, how about leaving it to dry and then spray painting it all one colour? I was tempted to spray paint mine copper, so perhaps I'll enjoy it for a few weeks white on white, and then to change things up a bit, I'll change the colour. And depending on your decor theme this autumn, you could be really brave. How about going bright pink or one of the more muted shades of greys, blues and greens? This was my first time using dimensional fabric paint and I really enjoyed this technique. I'll leave a link to the particular product I used in the show notes underneath this video, and then perhaps you can give it a go too. If you do decide to give this project a go, I'd love to hear how you get on. Post a photo in my free Facebook group, Flower Start World. You'll find the details for it in the show notes underneath this video. That's all from me for now, and I'll see you next time.